Hi class, my name is Bonnie Garrity and I will be your professor for our online section of AIM 123. We're going to be learning about Microsoft Excel through the lens of business analytics. Right now on screen you should see the Canvas course, and we're going to go through it a little bit so that you can see how it's laid out, and we're going to go over the syllabus. So first thing you'll see is a Start Here module. And so let's expand that. You'll see some information about our class. The syllabus is located here, and it's also located over here on the left menu, so you can find it in two different places. There is a link for how to register for SIMnet. This will open in a new tab for you, and it will give you some help if you need some help. And then there's also a page here for McGraw-Hill Tech Support. So if you have any issues, you can reach out to them and they'll help you get signed up. So there is a required textbook for this class because we're using SIMnet for our assignments and also for our final exam. So you will need to purchase the textbook. There is 2 weeks of courtesy access, so you can get started right away if you need a little bit of extra time to purchase the textbook. And then finally, in the Start Here module, you'll see how to complete the Let Me Try exercises in your chapters. And so for each chapter, there is a sim book. A sim book is just another word for a chapter, but it has simulations inside that take you through various skills in Excel. So that's what I mean when I say to complete the Let Me Try exercises in your chapters. So if you click here, it will show you a YouTube video, and I've done some of the exercises for you, show you what it looks like when you're incorrect and what it looks like when you're correct, so that it can help you navigate through your course a little better. Next, let's take a look through Canvas, and you can just see how it's laid out. The very next module is extra credit. We have several extra credit opportunities for this course, and some of them are sharing your Microsoft Excel badges to your LinkedIn account, and others are some other things. So let's just go over really quick on the expectations regarding extra credit. There are 6 total extra credit assignments, and each one is worth 1% additional on your final grade. So for example, if your final grade is 90 and you completed 1 extra credit, then you would have a grade of 91. If you completed 2, 92, so on and so forth. So there is an intro chapter, and that is an extra credit item. It has a lot of information on technology literacy, computer literacy. So if that's an area that you're a little bit weaker in, this might be a great opportunity for you to just get stronger in that area. You'll definitely need it regardless of what field you go into, because computer skills are life skills these days anyway. So if you want to do that, that chapter is for extra credit, but it's optional. You don't have to do the intro chapter. There's also 3 possible Microsoft Excel SIMnet credentials that you can earn, and if you earn those and share them to the LinkedIn licenses and certification section, each of those is worth 1 point of extra credit. So there's an essential skills, that's the lower one, and then there's intermediate skills, and there's also an advanced skills. So we'll take a look at that a little bit in the syllabus as well. There's also going to be a video presentation option. So if you would like to complete that extra credit, you'll be presenting an Excel chart to a simulated business audience, which is me. And then finally, there's an ethical reflection assignment. And so for this, there's a recent article for you to read, and you'll write a brief reflection on that. So you can do these extra credit assignments at any time, but the last day to submit is August 22nd, 2026. If you happen to be viewing this video and you're in my class of 2027 or beyond, just check the Canvas. The last day submit might be a little different for you, but there will be a final day that you have to submit everything by. All right, let's navigate back to the syllabus. So I will go back to the Start Here module. We'll go to syllabus, and we'll just take a look at what's in the syllabus so you know what to expect from this class. This is the School of Business, and this is AIM 123, Business Analytics 1. We are going to be learning Microsoft Excel through the lens of business analytics, which just means that we're going to be looking at business data, not medical data, not other kinds of data. we're going to look at business data. But the Excel skill spans all disciplines. Most places use Excel in some way or another. So, and these skills translate. So if you use Google Sheets, a lot of it is the same in other spreadsheet software as well. You will have the opportunity to earn up to 3 badges or credentials. Microsoft Essential Skills is earned after completing the chapter Let Me Try exercises from chapters 1 through 4. And then the Applied Intermediate Skills badge can be earned when you score at least 90% on that project after chapter 4. So you have 10 tries to get over 90%, and each time you get some feedback. So you should be able to get this badge. The last one is the Advanced Skills badge, and maybe not everyone will get this badge because you have to do 2 extra chapters of Let Me Try exercises, but this is a really great badge to have because it is the Advanced Skills badge. So if you're looking for a position that works with Microsoft Excel, it's worth it for you to put in a little bit of extra effort so that you can reach for this badge here. And then you also get extra credits. So even if it doesn't affect your grade otherwise, at least it can affect your grade with a boost for extra credit. All right, so moving on, we'll go to some of our syllabus policies. Now, normally I teach in the computer lab, but this is an online class, so the first point isn't too important for us. But we do want to talk about AI a little bit. You are allowed to use AI in this course, but can't use AI to do the work for you. All right, now this third point, the academic integrity and file ownership. So if you use AI to do the work for you, or if you copy and paste into the data files that you submit to SIMnet, they will be caught on the back-end tracking mechanism, and they will, you'll get a violation for that. So even if you need to use AI to troubleshoot your formula or anything that you're doing in Excel, you can do that. That's fine. Use AI, use it to help you learn, use it as a tutor, but do not under any circumstances copy and paste anything from anywhere into your document. The system knows that if that's done, and it will flag a violation if that happens. So definitely want to make sure that you do your own work. So only submit files that you have downloaded and worked on yourself, and don't copy or paste anything into the file. As long as you follow those simple guidelines, you should be just fine. All right, so online attendance and participation. So I don't grade attendance and participation in an online class because there's really no way for me to do that. So it's going to be based on your grade, and we'll go over the grades here in just a second when we get there. But you have to know that this is typically a 16-week course, and we're doing it in 8 weeks. So it's compressed, it's accelerated. So consequently, each week is double loaded. Now, that's not the end of the world. If you do at least one thing per day, you'll have a great pace through this class, and you'll probably even get done early. All right, so moving on, just make sure you type your formulas in character by character, everything, okay? All right, we have the learning outcomes and the assignments that tie back to various learning outcomes, but I want to go to the schedule. We can see the schedule here is listed out week by week, so everything that we have to do week by week is listed out here for you. Most weeks have 1 or 2 chapters. If there's only 1 chapter, it's usually because there's a capstone project with it. For example, here in week 3, we do 1 chapter, and we have a chapter, which is called a SimBook chapter. Then we have a homework for chapter 4, and then we have a capstone project. So the capstone project is going to cover material from chapter 1 to 4, and this is the one where if you score at least 90%, you'll earn that intermediate badge, okay? All right. Moving along, we can see we have 2 chapters, and then we have 7 with a capstone, 8 and 9. And then over here for chapters 10 and 11, these are the 2 that are kind of optional. All right, we'll get more into that. And then the final exam is a 20-question open book exam. For grading, It's pretty simple. There's 4 buckets and each one of them are worth 25%. So the final exam, there's 2 capstone projects, which means each of them is worth 12.5% of your grade. There are 9 guided projects. Guided projects are chapter homeworks. And then we have sim books. There's 11 total, but I'm going to drop the lowest 2 because the last 2 chapters are optional. So I do want you to do the first 9, but you don't get 10, 11. All right. Extra credit, we went over that. And then here is our grading scale. Pretty straightforward. It's in the syllabus. So if you have any questions, check the syllabus. I do round up to the nearest percentage point if there's a decimal value in your grade. So if you have an 89.99999, you will get a 90. Okay. I think that's a really nice thing to do. I wish my professors would have done that when I was in college, but I just want to, I don't like people worrying about the fractional points. So I round up to the nearest point, but I do have to draw a line somewhere, and that's where I draw it. Okay, regarding late submissions for this course, it's very important that you stay up to date on this course because it's only 8 weeks. We don't have time to get behind. And if you're not very familiar with Excel, you definitely don't want to get behind. Even if you're strong in Excel, you don't want to get behind. All right, but you can receive a penalty of up to 3% per calendar day, so that includes weekends, past the due date. All right, make sure that you do those assignments because once they're not available, I will not accept them. And there will be no submissions accepted after this date time. Okay? All right, online class, so some etiquette, make sure that you're courteous with each other, with me, and I will do the same for you. If you have accommodations, please let me know about it, or if you need them, contact the Personalized Learning Center. Nothing is timed in this course, so hopefully, there's no issues with that, but if you have something that you want to talk about, go ahead and send me an email. We'll talk about it, and we'll take it case by case. There's Academic Commons, integrity. These are fairly standard syllabus policies, so we won't spend too much time here. Just know that it's in the syllabus, and you can take a look there and refer back to this for the grading scale, for the schedule, and things like that. But let's take a quick look really quickly. I said the word quick 2 times. All right, we're just going to look at the structure of the course really quickly. I can't get away from that word. Okay, so we have start here. We looked at that, extra credit. They're all right here. So this is the intro chapter. If you click it, it takes you to a new tab where you'll be able to do the SimBook chapter. We have the Add Your Microsoft Excel Essential Skills badge. So I'll take a look in there. There's a video to show you how to do it as well. Here is a screenshot of mine. It should have a show credential link. It should be in the licenses and certifications section because in order to give you the extra credit, I need to look at it on your LinkedIn profile and click this button. That's how I verify that you've earned the credential. Okay. This is how it looks when your prospective employers look at your profile and click over to see it. This is how it looks to them. All right, so that's for the essential skills. We won't spend too much time on the other 2 because it's the same thing except it's a different credential. So here's the one for the applied intermediate skills. Okay, I can say that. So here's the example, how it looks on mine. And then when someone clicks through, this is how it looks. So they can see that I've earned it, what date I've earned it, and important information. And then again, for the advanced, when you complete the chapters 5 through 11, you'll earn the advanced skills credential after doing all of the Let Me Try exercises. This is how it looks on LinkedIn. When someone clicks it, this is how it looks when they click through. All right, next we have a video assignment. So you can read about the video assignment. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm not going to go over it. We also have an ethical reflection assignment. This might change from year to year. So right now we're looking at the summer 2026 version where we're going to talk about Pope Leo uses his first major papal text to warn about the dangers of AI. So that's going to be the article that you reflect upon if you choose to do this extra credit assignment. And that's the last extra credit. So now we go into week 1. I'm going to go back to the home page and collapse the extra credit and just talk about the weeks and how they're laid out really quick. So we have week 1. When you complete all of the items, week 2 will be open for you. When you complete all of week 2 items, week 3 will be open for you. So you can see there are prerequisites set up. And that's because I don't want you to skip ahead. I want you to go in order. But also you can work ahead if you need to. So if you're going to Florida next week, or you're going to Europe in 5 weeks, I don't know, you can work it in. So you can work ahead a little bit within reason. You could do everything in 1 week if you really wanted to, but I don't recommend it because it would be way too much. But the only exception to this rule here is the final exam, which is in week 8. So in week 8, this will be taken during week 8 only. And that's just for academic integrity purposes because the exam changes from semester to semester. So this is to ensure that everyone takes the exam at the same time. All right. So everything is pretty much laid out in that way. And when you get to week 7, you'll notice that if you look at week 6, for example, you'll see submit, 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 submit. These are things that have to be completed in order for week 7 to open up. But when you get to week 7 on these 2 optional chapters, you'll see it's just view and view. Okay, so these 2 are technically not required for you to pass this class, but if you want the advanced skills badge, you need to complete the let me try exercises in these 2. I thought this chapter 11 was pretty easy. Chapter 10 was a little more advanced, okay? And then finally, the last thing I want to tell you is that you'll see that there are videos. So you'll see there's week 1 videos, week 2 videos, week 3 videos. Each week has a set of curated videos, and I went through and found videos that explain all of the topics in the textbook, or pretty much all of them. And there's also this week 1, this video about VisiCalc just tells you a little bit about the history of how spreadsheet software even came to be and why, and maybe it helps you understand, why it was so innovative and why it's so powerful. And then after that, I have organized videos by chapter content. So these videos align with chapter 1 content. So all of the things that we'll be practicing, you get to see somebody do it in a video, which is very helpful because a lot of people like to see something done in order to help learn how to do it. And it also just helps you see it done for a slightly different use case compared to how you might be doing it in the sim book. There's also videos in the sim books. So let's take a look, and I'll go to the chapter 2 videos because this one has 2 different chapters. So you can see that I started with a curated list for content aligned with chapter 2. Okay. And then it goes to chapter 3 down here. So it looks like I only have 2 videos here for you for chapter 2. And then there's 2 videos for chapter 3. Some of them have more videos, some of them have less. I tried to make as much as possible short, concise videos and from various different content creators, because people explain things in different ways, and that it's, what appeals to you or what's most helpful to you is going to be different from person to person. So it really does help to watch some of these different people do different things and explain it in different ways. A lot of times there is more than one way to do something. So just know that these resources exist, and if there's ever anything that you're trying to do in Microsoft Excel, there's probably a video out there. Someone probably made a video on it, and be resourceful. All right, well, that pretty much covers the introduction to the class and going over the syllabus, and I will be here and available for you to answer questions. Like I said, send me an email. We can meet via WebEx as well. So include a screenshot if you have a question, or include the file you're working with. All of those things help me help you best. and enjoy the class. I hope that you learn a lot about Microsoft Excel and you can see how it helps you in your life.